If you're thinking about buying a home, but you feel stuck because you have to sell your home in order to get cash for a down payment, or you need to erase some or all of your mortgage debt on your current home in order to qualify for a loan to buy your next home, I want to go over a strategy that's really unique that you may not have heard of on how you can overcome this obstacle and get onto your next home. So, of course, the problem with trying to sell in order to buy is that sellers right now in the market are not going to accept an offer that's contingent on selling your home because they're getting multiple offers from many other buyers at list price or even better than list price. Some are even waiving inspections and appraisals because of the high demand and low supply in the market. But they're not going to consider an offer that's contingent on selling your home. But if you need to sell your home in order to buy, you can see how that's going to be a huge problem for you. So the question becomes, what are your options, if any, to make this move? So we're going to go over that today, and this is building a bridge to your next home. So you find yourself in your current home but unhappy with that in some ways. You need something different, whether it's upsizing or downsizing. In general, you're looking for the right fit for your next home, but you feel a little bit stuck financially on making that happen. So I'm going to walk you through again, a very unique strategy on how you can go ahead and make this happen for yourself. Working in this real estate business for several years, I've found many times that homeowners want to buy a new home, but again, they don't have cash for a down payment, or at least not enough cash. They don't qualify for a new mortgage loan unless they eliminate some or all of their current mortgage debt, and they definitely don't want to move twice. Moving once is enough trouble in itself. It's an absolute headache and often a nightmare for a lot of people. So the last thing they want to do is sell their home, move into an apartment, shop for another home. They'll feel rushed to find their next home because they don't want to live in that apartment. They're not comfortable. So not only do they have to move twice, but they're also having to rush their decision on their purchase of their next home, which is a huge decision. So we certainly don't want to have you in that position. So the question becomes, how can you get cash for your down payment? How can you get pre-approved for financing? And how can you make sure that you're not forced to move twice? So your traditional options are to go with a home equity line of credit, also known as a HELOC, or a home equity loan. This will give you cash for a down payment. The problem with that is it won't actually help you to qualify for your next loan because it will actually add to your debt. And in fact, it'll make it harder for you to qualify for a mortgage loan to buy your next house. So that option certainly doesn't work. Selling your home is, of course, the most obvious option. That'll give you cash for a down payment. That'll erase your mortgage debt entirely. And of course, that will help you to qualify for a mortgage loan to buy your next house. But of course, in order to do that, if you're writing an offer on your next home to purchase, it has to be contingent upon selling and closing the sale of your current home, which, as we discussed at the beginning here, that sellers are not going to even consider in this current market. And the other problem is you're going to have to move twice, which, as we've discussed, is very stressful and difficult, especially if you have to move into an apartment and be in an uncomfortable situation before you buy your next house. So selling your home is certainly not the best option either. You could also rent your home, which would erase your mortgage debt. If you talk to some lenders, they'll do that for you. Of course, it's not actually eliminating your debt, but the fact that the rent is paying for the mortgage and then some, many lenders will actually erase that in terms of your debt to income ratios when you're getting pre-approved for your next loan to purchase your next home. So that will help you qualify for that next loan, but it's not going to give you the cash you need for a down payment. It'll give you a security deposit and first month's rent, but you're going to want to keep that in hand for any maintenance that's going to need to be done throughout the course of the lease. So, of course, since you still own the house, you're responsible for maintenance and also managing the tenants. And I can tell you from personal experience, although I've had really great tenants in the past, it's still time-consuming and stressful because things do break. Tenants do have issues. The neighbors have issues with the tenants. And if you don't want to do the landlord thing long-term, it's definitely not a good option for you to rent your home for a few different reasons. So the question we have here, of course, is what if there was a better way, right? In a perfect world, if it was all sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows everywhere, how could we possibly get cash for a down payment? How could we erase your mortgage debt? How could you get help qualifying for the mortgage loan to buy your next house? How could you make sure your offer is not contingent on selling your home when you're buying your next house? How can you make sure that you don't have to move twice, that you're not responsible for maintenance of your current home as you're renting it to tenants and having to manage the tenant issues? So the solution for all of this is what I call the bridge solution. So you're going to get cash for a down payment. You're going to erase your mortgage debt entirely. You're going to get help because of that to qualify for your mortgage loan to buy your next house. When you buy your next house, your offer is not going to be contingent on selling your home because it's already sold. You don't have to move twice. You can actually stay there up to 12 months in the house that you're currently living in that you've already sold. So again, you've got the cash, there's no debt, you don't have to move twice. And of course, if you're not renting your house to somebody else, you don't have to be responsible for maintenance. You don't have to manage the tenants. And of course, if you don't currently own the home because you've just already sold it, you don't have to worry about any repairs or anything breaking or anything like that. It's no longer your responsibility. Financially speaking, you can focus completely on buying your next house. So this is how you sell your home without moving out. And I'll tell you how this works. First of all, my investor partner buys your home, and what you do is you lease it back from them for up to 12 months. That way you can take your time to find your next house. You don't have to rush that process. And once you buy your new home, you move in. You move one time. Again, we've talked a few different times about how stressful moving can be. You only have to do this one time. You don't have to do it twice. So the question is, what's next? How do we get this process started? Of course, if you're interested in finding out more information, you can schedule a brief call with me. I can assess your needs and determine whether or not I can even help you. This program does not work for everybody, to be frank. So it's definitely something we have to look into a little bit further. But in about 15 minutes or less, we can find out enough information from each other to see if this is going to be a good fit, to see if we should move forward to get a no obligation free quote from the investor partner to see if it's something that you'd like to learn more about, see if it's something you would consider. And of course, if you like the terms and the conditions of the offer that you're given, that quote, then we can go ahead and move forward with the bridge solution, and you can start shopping confidently for your dream home. So again, just to review the traditional options we've already talked about, you can see there's some benefits to doing a home equity line of credit or a loan, to selling your home, to renting your home. But as you see those red X's there on the slide, none of them are foolproof. None of them really solve all of the problems that you have if you own a home and you need cash, you need a down payment for your next home, and you don't want to move twice. So the only option that really takes care of all of those is the bridge solution. And again, it's really important as you're shopping for your next home that you don't rush that you really take your time to find the perfect home for you. So that's my favorite feature of this solution, is that you can actually stay put in your house for 12 months if you need to make sure you find the right house for you. So if you're interested in more information, or even just to see if you qualify for this, all you need to do is schedule a call to get started. Again, this will be 15 minutes or less. There's no high pressure sales pitch. We're just assessing your needs, determining whether or not we can help you. If we can, we'll go through the specifics of how we can help you. And if we can't, we'll refer you to somebody who we think can actually help you a little bit more in your situation. So either way, you're going to learn something, and you're going to get some sort of solution, some sort of answer on how you can take your next steps towards owning your next home and making sure it's a convenient process for you, and make sure that you make a very good decision, an informed decision with your next home purchase. All you need to do is go ahead and click the link to schedule a discovery call. So thanks for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.